I'm Elizabeth Boeder. I graduated from KU in 2018. I majored in strategic communications and minored in business. My current title is Manager of Digital Partnerships and Partnership Strategy at the Chicago White Sox. I sit on our sponsorship team, our corporate partnerships. So we have about 85 to 90 corporate partners that we work with, brands like Ford, like Caesar Sportsbook, like Coca-Cola. I sit kind of in a unique position with partnership strategy where I sit across all of them. So really just making sure that our partners are getting what they want. And if they're not, how can we tweak the partnership to make it better and deliver for them? And then also when we sell new partnerships, highly involved in the brainstorm and the strategy of what we put into a deal, how we make it work within the partner's marketing strategy, and not just be what we as the White Sox want to sell, but really delivering for our partners. The other part of my role is that anything sponsored on our social media channels, our email or website, all runs through myself because we have to take it to MLB. So MLB approves everything, and I'm the liaison between our social team, our partnerships team, and MLB. The reason that I love my job, as I mentioned before, we have 80 to 90 partners. So every single day is different. One day I will be working on how I can figure out how to celebrate National Italian Beef Day with our Italian beef partner. And the next day I'll be making sure that there's photographs of cars in a social post. So different things, different industries keep my job very fun and different every day. I would say typical things that I do are I track all of our measurements for our partners. So that's a lot of data and analytics of making sure that we're receiving our TV information. So we have all of the exposure of our games on TV. We have any of our partners being picked up in social posts from highlights, but also any branded campaigns. We're just tracking the performance and relaying that information to the people, the account representatives. So I kind of am like the central holder of the information and disperse it so that it can be communicated to all of our partners, all 90 of them. So in season, we typically check that in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I'll typically be in a couple of meetings, whether that's internal or brainstorms of trying to figure out how we can best deliver for our partners, whether that's, oh, hey, the marketing team has this new initiative and we think it would be a really good fit for a sponsor that we already have, and we'll go to them with either an additional investment or try and use it as a bonus opportunity to kind of build up that goodwill with partners. Outside of that, working games is very, very fun. So from the sponsorship side, we do client entertainment. So a lot of our clients will use their first pitches, their batting practice experiences. They will get to say play ball at the start of the game. So we'll execute those experiences with our partners. And then if they're in suites, if they're entertaining their employees or their own clients, we'll just pop in, say hi, and make sure that everything's all going well. From the social side, because I sit kind of on our social team now, I help out usually like 2 or 3 games a homestand with them. So that's really fun. I don't actually do the posting or anything, but it's really fun to see the process of like how our social team actually creates and posts content throughout the game on multiple different channels. So kind of seeing their strategy for Instagram and their strategy for Facebook in real time is really cool. The JMC School has just provided me with so many opportunities, honestly, like such a good foundation for this industry, which I didn't originally think. So I came to KU wanting to major in sport management, which I wanted to work in sports always. And it just didn't work out because of the scholarship thing. But I settled on strategic communications and I fell in love with it. And I really honestly use so many of the skills that I learned in my classes still on a daily basis. So I can like point to so many different examples. What I do as a sponsorship is very similar to advertising. So it's very like, we're almost like the advertising agency for the team, which is really cool in a way that like, so I have on my team, like we have account representative or account executives and account management, and I see all of that and like see it put to work every day. So from just a very basic like intro to strategic communications, and then in addition, a lot of the research classes, I didn't think that they would be as applicable as they are, but I'm creating surveys for our fans all the time, and the foundational skills that I learned in those classes have helped me tremendously to understand what kind of questions should we ask, how do we view the results, how do I communicate the results, and a lot of what I do is help partners track their return on investment. So being able to understand different data points and communicate that effectively to show different strengths has been really, really beneficial. And then from the strategy side, I think the campaigns course was the best course I've ever taken and just truly prepared me, because so many of my meetings where a client will come to us with a certain example or a certain thing that they want, and it'll be myself and my team going back to the drawing board and say, how can we put this together? How can we create an event? How can we create a new program or a new ticket package that accomplishes the goal of our client, which essentially was the whole campaigns course, and making sure that like we're delivering for the client. So it's really cool to see that on a day-to-day basis. I would say there's so much stress about making sure that you get a full-time job after graduation. There's so much stress coming from the business school. I had so many friends that at the end of junior year, they already had their jobs lined up for after graduation, and it stressed me out so much. Myself and two of my other best friends from the J School took internships after graduation, hourly internships, and it turned into amazing careers for all three of us. So do not be afraid to take an internship one more year, or even if it's a full year internship, that experience will lead to a very prosperous career. So don't think that just because you don't have a job lined up right after graduation, that it's the end of the world. Because really, honestly, like if you want to work in sports, majority of those internships are full year internships. So you can't be in school and still be interning for a team. So that's just one example of an industry, but I know the two other people that I mentioned, they took internships for the summer or for like a 6-month period and then found their full-time jobs after that. So don't stress.